Part 5. When I opened my eyes again, the big private hospital room had changed. There were now 2 beds instead of one mine, and another one across from my feet. I couldn't really see clearly from where I was lying, but somehow I knew the person in that bed was an old woman. The whole room was white, the walls, the sheets, even the light itself felt white. It was bright but strangely cold. That night, a young blonde nurse came swaying over to my bedside and asked if I wanted something to eat. After being unconscious for more than 10 days, of course I did. I nodded right away without even wondering why she was asking. She gave me a tiny cup of yogurt, barely a few spoonfuls, and so thin it was almost watery. I finished it in seconds and felt hungrier than before. When she asked if I wanted more, I said yes immediately. That's when she pulled out a stack of papers and an iPad. She said I had to watch a short video first and listen to her explanation. Whether I agreed or not, she'd still give me another yogurt after. She told me she worked with a hospice organization, and the old woman across the room was dying. The woman had one last wish, and they wanted to help her fulfill it, but they needed my help. The nurse said the lady was from Taiwan. When she was young, she'd married her husband not long before he was taken away by Japanese soldiers. She'd spent her entire life waiting for him to return. Decades passed, she grew old waiting, moved from Taiwan to America, but never got any word from him. Now, at the end of her life, her final wish was simple: to have a photo of herself and her husband together. Since that never happened in real life, the organization planned to take a picture of me dressed up as her husband, then Photoshop the 2 of us together. That way, she could have the photo she'd waited for all her life. I didn't think twice, I said yes. Helping someone like that didn't cost me anything. The nurse helped me sit up. I was too weak to do it myself. She handed me a pile of forms to sign, and I didn't even read them, just scribbled a line that looked vaguely like a signature. Then she told me to smile, snapped a photo, and left. I finished my not-so-great yogurt and fell into a deep sleep again. I don't know how long I slept, hours, maybe days. In that all-white room, time didn't seem to exist. Then, in a half-dreaming haze, I started hearing the sound of a suana, a Chinese horn used at funerals. I opened my eyes and saw that the old woman's bed had been turned into a funeral altar. A white cloth covered her face. White curtains, white wreaths, and a round canopy like the one over my Uncle Ma Zhengzi and Aunt Chen Gai Feng's wedding bed back home. There was even a small band erhu, suana, the whole set just like the group that played at my grandmother's funeral in the old Jizzy garden. The only difference was that this band was dressed entirely in white, while the ones back home wore blue-gray Mao suits or shabby old Western jackets. And there, Hanging above the old woman's bed, was the black and white photo of us, the one they'd made. I looked at it and thought, we actually look pretty good together. Then I closed my eyes and drifted back to sleep.